4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on another Experience Michiana. And as you can see, it is a beautiful day in our community. And today, I'm gonna get my groove on, and I'm going to show you how you can too. But first, we're back at Notre Dame because Shakespeare is back on. And this year, it's all about A Midsummer Night's Dream. As a member of the community, I am so excited to say that the Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival is on this year. And Grant, I know that you are just excited as we are.
Yeah, you and us both, very much, very much.
And this is very unique too, because this is kind of the first event of Notre Dame, hopefully bringing a new thing that we're going to be experiencing this year.
We traditionally cross between summer and the start of the academic year, serving both our communities, on campus and off. So inevitably then, we're also the first ones after a significant closure to resume operations. Hooray, hooray. It's brought all sorts of fun challenges, but a lot of excitement too.
Well, let's talk about a few of those challenges, because doing theater during the pandemic has its challenges. Doing Shakespeare has its challenges, and you have both of them. So tell us how you're doing this.
Well, sometimes the name Shakespeare can be a little daunting, but I think as you can kind of tell from the surroundings and when you'll see some of the other materials, this is a ton of fun. You'll hear it too from the other actors. Of course, they're all miserable and having a terrible time rehearsing the play. No, it's a hilarious comedy, and as a cast, I've rarely seen a company bond as well as this one has.
Oh.
I think it's partly having been off and away from the profession that we're employed to execute and the art form that we love to create, and now we're finally resuming doing it. There's the first part to your question, and I think it has to do with the logistics of how we've put this off. And the simple fact that we get to be outside for our interview today is also because we've moved the professional company outdoors here on the southeast lawn of Irish Green at Notre Dame. And that's for a couple of different reasons. We could be back inside right now, but we've elected to stay outside for everybody's comfort level. Also, so it's a little bit easier to socially distance for the audience. And because it's A Midsummer Night's Dream, and the fireflies are with us each night as we rehearse, the fairies are kind of with us.
Exactly.
It's a bit broader of a scale than we're typically accustomed to, but it has that Shakespeare in the Park feel to it, which is great, great fun.
And so out here, the audience will be on the lawn over here. And do you have to limit the capacity?
We do. And so not only is the capacity limited, we'll be encouraging social distancing. Of course, we've kept the acting company essentially restricted in their rehearsal, but pretty isolated in general. The word bubbled isn't quite accurate, but it makes sense. And then, of course, if we invite all audiences, but of course if you're unvaccinated at this time, we'll ask you to wear a mask. Anyone who would like one may have a mask. We'll have extra ones on hand.
Wonderful.
And of course we're thrilled that we can be outside, which is the safest area of all.
Well, I have had the pleasure of seeing several of the Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival productions, and I am amazed, truthfully, Grant, at every single one. And one of the things that I love about what you do is there's kind of a twist to it. You don't just do it like maybe you'd see it in another production. You bring a twist, something very different, something that people would not expect. Can we expect the same thing this time?
I don't think it would be a Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival if there wasn't some sense of the surprise. And I think good theater does that too,
Yes.
not in just kind of a, hey, surprise way, but something that provokes the way we think about the story, that allows it to particularly be one in which we can see ourselves, whether we are from any area of South Bend or Michiana or the region or the country. You'll find something that really resonates with you as you watch the show. This show is set with a feel of sort of late 40s, right around in turning it, not quite into the 50s just yet, so some of that music will be very familiar to some of the folks in our audience. And so there's a little bit of a twist. But, you know, I have to say, being up against the structure, the fabric of the theater itself, has been really exciting for us. And, you know, the actors turn to the house, you know, or it's the royal residence of mighty Theseus, you know, or it becomes part of the magical wood that a group of lovers gets lost in. And another troupe of laborers creates a show that have never created a show before.
Right.
Yeah, and they're out in the woods too, but the building and the park-like setting embraces both.
Right, absolutely. Well, I have to tell you, Grant, I can't wait to see that production, but right now, I can't wait to meet some of the cast members. Can I
Great.
do that?
Let's do that.
As a professor, and you're one of my former students,
Yes.
I have to say, I am so honored to interview you, Kendra.
Oh
You
my
are
gosh.
multi-talented.
Thank you
and I'm
so
so
much.
excited for you because this is your first time as an intern
Yes.
with the Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival.
Yes, ma'am.
What has the experience been like for you so far?
The experience has been so awesome. The cast and crew have been so open and so accepting, and that has been such an amazing experience for me. Being a part of this new theater community has just been a blast thus far, and it's just been an abundance of joy and time just getting a bond and getting familiar with Shakespeare and feeling like a family, getting that family connection.
That's
It's been
great. And
awesome.
as I said, multi-talented. You sing, you dance, you act.
Yes.
How have you grown as a performer being part of this festival?
So with Shakespeare, oftentimes we always feel like it's like so formal and so prestigious and out of reach. And I think the great thing about our apprenticeship and our company is that we make it so malleable to the point where it's relatable and you don't feel so distant from the language and the text and the story itself. And so you're able to kind of make those connections and really get into the work and throw yourself into it without, getting too in your head about it.
I hear your character, or should I say characters,
Yes.
are quite fun. So tell us who you play.
So I play the First Fairy and I play Snug the Joiner. Two characters that are very different. First Fairy has more of a, business, professional on top of things versus Snug
I didn't
is
know
more
fairies
of a,
were all about business.
right? Like you would think like it would be a little bit more, free flowing, but no, she is, about, staying on top of things, getting stuff done. And Snug the Joiner is kind of, like I'm gonna do my best and see what happens and then, let the chips fall where they may. So playing those two different character archetypes has been fun and interesting. Yeah.
Well, I hear that you have to do a little bit of dancing in the
Yes.
role and a little bit of singing.
Yes.
So what's the dancing look like?
So the dancing, it's really, well, first off, it's amazing. It's fun. It's kind of like a little bit of ballet mixed with modern. It's really cool and it's very fairy-esque to put it in a description. But yeah, it's an awesome dance, and I think the audience is gonna love it, and I love doing it. So yeah, it's really fun. It's awesome. Yeah.
Now, I had you as a student, and boy, could you dance.
Yes.
But boy, could you also sing. She could sing, let's say. And so you are singing in this role, right?
I am singing a little bit in this role. I'm still learning the melody, still getting the lyrics down. But yeah, it's some singing going on in here, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna
All
be
right,
intriguing
now I know
time.
you're still learning the lyrics to the role that you play, but maybe
Yeah.
you can sing just a line. I want everyone to hear your voice because it is pretty amazing, and it's going to sound great out here.
Awesome. So I can sing something.
Okay.
But maybe not that just yet because I want to perfect it. So
Okay, gotcha.
let's see if I can give you a little bit of church.
A little
Baptist.
church,
A little
okay.
church, a little church.
Church at Notre Dame. There you go.
Church in Notre Dame. Let your power fall when your name is called. Prove the doubters wrong. Lord, you're mighty and strong. So fight this battle for me and let my heart believe, so I can tell all my friends that you have won again.
I I told you she could sing. If I had a mic, I'd drop it. I'd drop my pen.
Oh my
Just
God.
drop the pen. Oh my
I love
goodness,
you so
that is
much.
wonderful. I can't wait to see the production. Now, I know you have a ton of family and friends that are going to come see you. It is outside,
Yes.
so they have to bring blankets and lawn chairs,
Yeah,
right?
I definitely recommend some blankets and lawn chairs. Make yourself comfortable. Bring food, bring drinks. You know, bring the family, bring friends. Tell everyone you know. It's really going to be a good time. So,
All right,
yeah.
all right. Well, I can't wait. I'm going to be sitting right up there.
Oh,
Maybe
I
a
know
little
it.
further back, but right there.
We'll do. I'll be looking for you. Absolutely.
Jason Goff, you are also part of the cast, and you play Nick Bottom.
Yes.
But before we even get up to talk about Nick, I want to talk a little bit about you, because did you say this is your first time on the campus of Notre Dame?
Yes, this is
Where have you been?
This is my very first time. Yeah, I've been in Chicago for the past 10 years, and then I was in LA for 3 years before that. And the opportunity came up 2 years ago to audition for this show, and a lot of incredible artists have worked here in the past.
Yes.
Artists that are friends of mine. It has an incredible reputation. And so I threw my hat in the ring, and they were silly enough to hire me, and I was over the moon to be invited. And then of course COVID hit and everything got backburnered for a year, but we're back here now, and it's been everything I could have hoped it could be. It's been an incredible experience so far.
Well, tell us about Nick Bottom.
Yeah, Nick Bottom is, I guess you could say he's the clown of the show, along with all of the mechanicals. You met the lovely Kendra earlier. She's
Yes.
part of our troupe. And it's a ragtag group of just blue-collar craftsmen in Athens, and they are trying to put on a play for the Duke and become made men, as Kendra will say, to try and make our fortune as entertainers. And so I just view them as dreamers, people who love performing, and sometimes their enthusiasm can get in the way of their productivity. And all I'll say is that hijinks ensue, and things that we don't even know are going to happen every night happen. There are
Okay.
things put in there that are completely improv and related upon the audience, and so every night will be completely different, and we're really looking forward to doing that.
That is wonderful. I'm so excited to see the production. You had mentioned too about all of the great artists that have come through the Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival, and now you being one of them. How have you grown? The production, even, you haven't performed it yet, but even just in the experience of rehearsal, how have you grown as an artist already?
It's been a very enlightening experience, in main part because of all the time we had off, and coming back to something, not knowing how am I going to feel? I haven't done this in so long.
Right.
Can I still do it? Am I still going to enjoy doing it? How does that work? And the group of artists that they have to come here are so excited to just play and have a good time and tell the story, and it's infectious. And you feed off of that, and it takes you places you never thought you were going to go, or even have you do things you didn't think you'd be able to do. Outside, vocally, I know we will be mic'd, but in the middle of our rehearsal process and things like that, communicating across this huge green lawn is something I've never done before. And it kind of takes you back to your training, and you gotta
Project and all that.
all of the things that they teach you for years and years and years that you had locked away back there, and all of a sudden you gotta unlock that door and hope it's still there. I hope it is. We've had great responses so far, and I think people are gonna really, really, really enjoy the show. And it's been an incredible experience, and I hope I'm invited back numerous times.
I hope so as well. Jason, thank you so much. It's been great speaking with you. Break a leg.
Thank you, Kelly, I appreciate it.
Tlaloc Rivas, you are the director of A Midsummer Night's Dream here. And I just want to say thank you. I know you must be so busy, so thank you for taking the time to be with us. But before we even start, I hear that there's a very unique meaning to your name.
Yes.
Can you share what that is?
Sure. My name is Tlaloc, and for those who have studied Mesoamerican history and culture, Tlaloc was the Aztec god of rain.
Okay. Well, no rain during this production, though.
Well, let's cross our fingers.
Let's hope we don't get any of
We
that.
need the rain, but not during our show.
Not during the show, absolutely. Well, you know, I had an opportunity to speak with several of the cast members, and one of the things that kept resonating was they kept saying, "This is so much fun. This is so much fun." So I'd like to know, what are you doing as a director to create such an atmosphere?
Well, one of the things that's great about coming back after 18 months of seclusion from one another is to A, have a production that takes place outside, but B, it's a Midsummer Night's Dream is such a classic comedy where there are profound consequences in regards to love and misunderstanding, and I think we've all gone through a period of that, and I think what's great about the play is it has a lovely message of reconciliation and understanding for one another.
Absolutely.
After a turbulent time.
Well, we know that this usually takes place hundreds of years ago, but you're kind of bringing it into the 1940s, 50s. So what has that creative process been like?
Well, one of the reasons we chose like post-war 1940s was that was another time where the America and the world was coming out of conflict and emerging from what I would call sort of distress and pain and suffering, and the post-war years were a time of renewal for people to come back together and to reestablish the communities that they came from. And so the play does that too, but setting in the 40s kind of, I wanted to draw a parallel to that we were also emerging from that kind of conflict in time. And it's also just a fun period for me. It reminds me of my grandparents and the time they grew up in, and they were very fond of that time. So.
Right. And you know, you are a playwright, a director, a dramaturg. You're so much, and community means a lot to you as well as social activism. How do you believe, or what ways do you use art to maybe be a vehicle or a voice for social activism?
It really depends on where the audience is. Like in every community, in every theater I've worked at, it's particularly meaningful to me to know, what kind of audiences will come to this kind of show, but also what kind of new audiences do we want to bring. For me, I want theater to reflect the diversity of this country and in the world, and so one of my charges is to have an ensemble of people that people can see themselves in, and at the same time, if the play, whether it's new or it's a classic, I want it to connect to something that is happening to the world today, whether that might be the environmental crises, global warming, or interpersonal relationships. For me, it always matters to me what the piece is saying now, and to reflect and to share it with an audience, because it's not about like presenting Shakespeare as it was, right? Because Shakespeare wrote for a contemporary audience, so we're presenting this unique production for this audience, and that's what is important to me overall.
You know, many times I ask the actors and actresses, how have you grown as an actor or an actress, as a performer during this production? I'd like to ask you, perhaps how might this change you as a director, bring a new perspective, being a part of this production?
It's an interesting question. You're asking the question where I don't feel, after a time of the time of the pandemic really brought a certain reflection that there wasn't a need to make or produce or to get a show up so quickly. I think we've all kind of taken a step back and looked at the ways and methods we've been creating theater in the past, which has been under the guise of like commercialism or almost like a factory, just get the shows out. I think we've all are now really reassessing how we approach a production and looking at it holistically to see how do we take care of our actors with better pay, better housing? How do we reduce the hours we spend rehearsing, so that we're taking a very concerted effort to make sure that they're taken care of in the heart and the mind and the spirit, and they don't feel like they're working in order to make something, that they're working and having fun, and in order to do something that they really want to have fun making.
Absolutely. Well, Tlaloc, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for sharing your talents with Notre Dame and us here at the community as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Notre Dame. Thank you, Indiana. Thank you, South Bend.
We're at Battelle Park in Mishawaka, and please bear with me because I have to give you a little bit of a background here. I was at Fridays at the Fountain, great Irish band, local band, Kennedy's Kitchen, great Irish music, and I wanted to dance so badly. But you know what? I have no idea how to do Irish dancing. And then, there in the midst was Elaine, and here she comes teaching Irish line dancing, and everybody got up, so many people got up, and it was so much fun. And then I come to find out that there's a whole line dancing community, and Elaine, you are part of it.
No.
So what got you, where did you kind of get your passion for dancing?
I don't know. You know, I got into my middle age, and I've only been doing it like 14 years, and I just feel a need to have to get out and enjoy and experience life, and that was one way to get out and do it.
I love that. Now, did you ever take any dance lessons, or you did?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There's several places around in Elkhart, Mishawaka, Niles that you can take dancing lessons. I highly recommend that. So I got my confidence built that I could go out, and then a group of us will just go out dancing in the community.
That is so much fun, and really, wherever there is live music, you can find Elaine and her friends. And so you go around in the summer to the parks, and then during the winter, you also go to different places, and you do line dancing. What kind of line dancing do you do?
Well, most of it is country music. Yeah, that's where most of us get our lessons, in the country music, but we'll take that dance and adapt it to the song, because we'll feel the beat, we'll understand the music, and then we can dance along to almost any song. We could do a dance to any song you play. We would find something.
Any song, so Motown, jive, anything.
Yes, yeah.
Irish dancing.
Irish music,
Irish music.
yes.
So tell me, because I kind of thought, like I said, I wanted to get up, I wanted to dance, but I was kind of a little intimidated. Then you got up, and I was like, this woman has chutzpah, okay? Where did you get that? Because it takes a lot of guts to get up there and start the line dance.
Well, I'm a retired math teacher, so I've always had the philosophy, practice makes perfect. So that's what, just practice whenever you can, and it will develop and you'll get better. When we're out on the dance floor, we try and tell you the steps for you to follow along with us.
Yes, you do a really good job of kind of leading people, so people don't have to be afraid, even if they don't know it, because you kind of really lead them through the dance.
Yes, yeah, and we try and get them positioned in between, and I brought some friends with me today that will position you in between us, so when you turn around to a different wall, because you usually 2 or 4 walls you'll dance on, that you'll have somebody you can follow.
Now, I know you love dancing and your friends love dancing, but I really got a sense that you're doing this in the community to bring a sense of joy, a sense of fun, and really a sense of togetherness.
Yes, and it does bring us groups of line dancers all together to enjoy it. I love meeting new people, and my goodness, my friendship has grown over the summer here, just going out and people just joining and getting to talking to them.
Right, and I think that's so important that as regular people in our community, that there's so much that we can bring to it. I'm sure many people come up like I did and thank you for what you're doing.
They do, in the band, they appreciate it, they thank it, and we always thank them, because without the live bands around, we wouldn't have that experience to go out and do it.
That's right. And so when you go to the parks and you're in the different places, anybody can get up and join you.
Yes. Oh, yes. When we welcome, we want people to get up and join us. We don't want to be the only ones. We welcome. We'll spread out. We'll call out the steps. Yes, we will cheer you on.
All right. So today we are going to do some line dancing here on Experience Michiana, and you brought 2 of your friends here.
Yes, I did.
What are their names?
Okay, Denise and Kathy.
Denise and Kathy.
Yeah.
So they're going to join us, and we're going to, what are we going to do first?
Stealing the Best.
Stealing.
Well, that's the dance, Stealing the Best. But the Friday that I met you, we were listening to John Kennedy's Kitchen.
Yes, they were great.
And I have a CD, so we are going to play one of their songs.
Okay, good. All right, take it easy on me. All right. I don't know if I remember.
So just follow along with us.
Just follow.
And we're going to go right into it.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, shuffle, step, turn. front, side, triple, front, side, triple, stop, kick, triple, stop, kick, triple, vine, triple, vine with a turn, triple, walk, walk, triple, step, turn, triple, front, side, stop, kick, triple, stop, kick, triple, vine, walk, walk, triple, step, turn, triple, front, side, triple, front, side, triple. Vine, walk, walk, triple, step, turn, triple, front, side, triple, front, side, triple, step, turn, triple, front, side, triple, front, side, triple, kick.
And Elaine, thank you again for bringing
welcome.
so much fun to the
You're welcome.
community. How
Thank
can
you.
people get in touch with you?
Well, you can use my email. That is fine. 04EMDULANEY@gmail.com, or you can give me a friend request on the Facebook, and I go out and ask my friends, hey, this band's playing. I know most of the songs that they play, so I have the dances all ready to go for when
Good.
they play the music.
Okay, where's your next stop?
Actually, it's Thursday at the Wellfield.
Ooh.
The band High Life will be playing at the Wellfield Gardens.
Wonderful.
And-
We love Wellfield Gardens,
Yes.
where there are a lot of great people there. Beautiful place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So to find out more, you can also go on to experiencemichiana.org. Follow Elaine's dancing feet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this week's Experience Michiana. And as I'm standing out here, I can't believe that it's the beginning of August. And you know what? Before we know it, it's going to be fall. Let us know what you'd like to see on Experience Michiana in the fall, and maybe we can experience it together. See you next week.
This WNIT local production has been made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.